The book is called A Village Lost and Found.
Yeah.
And it's called that because really this village almost was lost, and the whole story of it was almost lost for 150 years.
Mm.
There were a few cards kicking around the world that looked very much like this.
Mm-hmm.
Part of a series called Scenes in Our Village,
Mm.
which this chap, T.R. Williams, photographed.
Mm.
And it's a complete document of life in this tiny village in the 1850s in Oxfordshire.
Yeah.
Not just the village, the people in it and the people's dreams, every and their work and their relationship with the land, relationship with their animals, the relationship with God. It's very, very deep. For every picture there is a poem as well, which brings the picture to life.
Mm.
But of course it's stereo, it's not just mono pictures.
Yeah.
So when you put them in the viewer, you feel like you can walk straight back into the 1850s and touch these people on the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's that real. So these things were nearly lost to the world, as I say. Nobody had the whole series. And nobody really knew what they were. Nobody knew where the village was or whether it was a real village or not. And to cut a long story short, me and Elena were able to find out these things. We managed to locate the village, and luckily it wasn't Reading, it wasn't covered with concrete and car parks. It's a village which still exists, and we were able to go down there and meet the people who live there today, who were all shocked and stunned that this had happened to their antecedents. Is that the right word? To their ancestors.
Yeah.
So we were able to take the book back there once we finished it and launch it in the village in which it was born.
Yeah. And that was in Oxfordshire, is that?
In Oxfordshire, a little tiny village called Hinton Waldrist. But this is a unique document. There is nothing else like this in the world. Such a complete document of the way people lived in a particular spot in the 1850s.
It's almost like a forerunner of 3D's all the rage, isn't it? With television and
it's the
and
same
films.
thing.
It's the same principle.
It's exactly the same. Yes. And 3D, otherwise known as stereoscopy, has been around since the dawn of photography itself. But strangely enough, it's come and go. It's been coming and going the whole time. It has a big fad, it has a big explosion, and then it's died out. So, as I say, 1850s was a big thing for stereo. There were thousands of these views around. People were very passionate about them. They were collecting them like people might collect records these days. And then it died out until about 1900, when again there was a big craze. Again, it pretty much disappeared after that, apart from... There's always a few people who fly the flag and carry the flame. Yeah. And there was another explosion in the 1950s with 3D film, things like House of Wax. And there were, for the first time, there were home stereo cameras at that time. And there was a company called Viewmaster who actually managed to keep going all through the period from the 1950s until today, who have kept this idea of 3D alive. But by and large, it pretty much disappeared. And if we'd been sitting here 10 years ago, I would have been explaining to you what is stereo, because people were saying, well, what is it? What is 3D?
Yeah.
But now everybody's seen Avatar.
Of course.
Everybody, thank God. It's great. It's a wonderful piece of work. And 3D is definitely around us today. But this is something precious. This is where it all started.
So how did you're here in Settle today. How did the idea of the exhibition come about?
Well, I've known Roger Taylor, the curator, for many, many years, and he's quite a mentor to us. He's a professor of photography. And he told us about the idea, and we thought, the idea of the phone box being a gallery, and at first you kind of laugh and think, oh, it can't be serious, but then you think, no, this is actually a very brilliant idea, because it's so intimate. So it's designed it's a gallery for postcard-sized views, and this is so perfect. Because you're sitting there in your phone box, all you've got is a viewer, one of our owls, and some cards, and the whole world is there. You can have your stereoscopic experience, and you don't need anything more than that. It's in this tiny space, but it's kind of a window on the world, so you're really getting the full Victorian excitement.
Yeah. I mean, the actual idea of the world's smallest phone box is something that's...
The smallest gallery.
Yeah, the world's smallest gallery being inside a phone box. I mean, that's something that's good, that could really put Settle on the map. And you being here today, I think, will certainly help that. Yeah,
I'm conscious of that. I think it's a wonderful idea. It's about communities as well. I mean, it's great that the community has come together, because there's no funding for this. People have just volunteered their own works to do with, including us. You know, we've obviously paid to put our exhibition in there. But it's something purely born of the community spirit here in Settle. And I think it's a great example of something which can happen. And a great use of existing resources, because that phone box has always been there. It wasn't put there for this purpose. It was there from the days when it was a useful phone box. It's still in the same spot. It's just been transmogrified into a slightly different incarnation. So now it's a place where people can wander in and get a unique experience.
Because the community actually bought it, and from what I believe, the council bought it for £1 in order to save it from and preserve it for future generations. It's a wonderful way of doing that.
It really is. I think a few people might follow this example.
But obviously, there's what also adds to the story is the name of the curator, which was very
Roger Taylor.
ironic.
Yes, I know. I think the first time Roger rang up, this is many years ago, rang up my office and said, "It's Roger Taylor here." The person went, "Doesn't sound like Roger Taylor." I mean, no, so it's the other Roger Taylor. Now, Roger's been a great friend to this project, and as I say, we go back many years. And my partner Elena, we came together because of Roger. My partner in this, in the researching and the writing of this book. She's here today.